get heavy and stuck, but you're back against the wall. You are a strong person, so baby keep moving on. Don't let nobody stop your hustle, but both your plans and your things are.
Hey, thank you for joining me for another video here on LAVI Program LLC. It's your girl Lavender, your virtual life coach. I know I am a day late and content short when it comes to putting this video out, but yeah, life was life, and so I had to deal with some other stuff first. But I got y'all. So today's video is going to be about entitlement. So this video is derived from posts and videos that I've seen regarding individuals that display like a sense of entitlement based on either their faulty beliefs or just ideas that they have been having. Because I feel like it is becoming more common, just from my own observation. It's becoming more common where it feels like people are becoming more and more entitled, where they feel like just because they feel a certain way, or just because they believe something to be done or acted out in a certain way, that is law, and that's like, no, that's just you know what I'm saying? You might find people who might share the same, perspective or idea or belief that you do, but then you're going to run into people who do not. And everyone has a right to believe something different, but for then you to feel as though you can enforce yourself or enforce what you decide to do to now overpower this individual and their boundaries of their beliefs that they have for themselves, because you feel like, your way is how it should be, that it's law. And that's not that's not how things are going to go. You know what I'm saying? You will run into conflict with that. So that is why today's video will be about entitlement. So first, let's talk about it. What is entitlement? So, according to the Webster Dictionary, entitlement is defined as the fact of having a right to something, the amount to which a person has a right, such as annual leave time by an employer, as well as the belief that one is inherently deserving of privileges or special treatment. And I think the third one is the main one that I'm highlighting, where, it's situations I've seen where people feel like either they're in a position or because they are connected with something or because, their morals have a certain foundation from which they come from, that their way is the best way and that they should be able to do this thing just because of this other thing. And that's just not how that goes. So an entitlement mindset is what these individuals have. So entitlement mindset is a personality trait where someone believes they are inherently deserving of special treatment, recognition, or favors, often without having to earn or deserve them. It's characterized by a belief that the world owes them something. So I'm sure we don't run into individuals like this. And unfortunately, I have been seeing it emphasized more with the younger generations. But I have definitely seen it in people of much older than me who have displayed some type of entitlement. And I don't think age has anything to do with it, but I do feel like it could potentially come with certain boundaries that were never enforced or introduced to these individuals, consideration for other individuals. So perhaps, they could display narcissistic behaviors or narcissistic ways of thinking, which everybody has them, but it's a diagnosis of problematic when it's something that is just their personality itself and what, how that constructs their brain. So everyone has narcissistic tendencies, but that does not mean that you are narcissistic. If if you can grasp what it is that I'm saying. All right, so let's talk about some key characteristics of entitlement mindset. So some key characteristics can include belief in deservingness. So people with this mindset believe they are inherently worthy of certain privileges or outcomes. Another characteristic is self-absorbed view. So these individuals that have entitlement mindset, they often have a limited perspective, prioritizing their needs and desires above those of others. So like I said, it's kind of like that main character syndrome type of thing, where they're willing to step on whoever they need to step on. You are just obstacles in my way so that I can get to what I need to get to, or you just a tool that I need to use to get to where I'm trying to get to. Another key characteristic is lack of empathy and consideration for others. So they may not show regard for the feelings or perspectives of those around them. So again, it's like their way or the highway, their view or you're wrong. Another characteristic is expectation of special treatment. So they may demand preferential treatment or recognition without earning it. So next characteristic is difficulty with criticism. So they may struggle to accept feedback or criticism, viewing it as unfair or undeserving. I've seen a lot of this because I watch the police body cam videos, and I be seeing a lot of videos where individuals like really be trying or they feel like they're entitled for something, and then when they realize that they're about to get handcuffs on them, it's like the whole mood just changes. And some of them people, though, they stand 10 toes on what they believe and how they say that they feel like things should go. But then you got other individuals who, they will kind of fold, because again, it's the manipulation piece. Now I just don't want to go to jail, So I've seen a lot of that on the body cam videos. So the next key characteristic for someone with entitlement mindset, it says anger and resentment when expectations are not met. So they may become frustrated and angry when they don't receive what they believe they deserve. And lastly, as far as a key characteristic, is blame and manipulation. So they may blame others for their misfortunes or attempt to manipulate situations to their advantage. So, like I said, manipulation, as long as they're able to get what they want out of it, they might seem to, individuals with this type of mindset, might seem that they're in agreement with something that you guys have mutually discussed as ways in which something will go or something that will be done, and it's like you keep your end of the bargain but this person don't, and it's just because they need you to do what's necessary to get them to the next place that they're trying to go, just kind of taking advantage, manipulating in whatever way they feel necessary to take advantage. All right, so the videos and the posts, I'm gonna talk about those that got me to want to do this video. So the first one, it was a situation, it says lending a friend $300 toward a winning lottery ticket, to which they win 1 million. How much should they give you in return? Now, this was a post that I seen on this group that I'm a part of on Facebook. And they just have like these different open conversations about stuff. And so again, I'm gonna read that again. Lending a friend $300 towards a winning lottery ticket, to which they win $1 million. How much should they give you in return? So my response or my comment to it was, it would be great if even if they just return the $300, but at the end of the day, they don't have to give me anything. If I lend you something, or if I give you something as a friend and you win something, of course I'm gonna be like, well, dang, that's my friend. I would hope that you give me something. But at the end of the day, I'm not entitled to that. And when I tell you that pissed people off, dude was like, it was a guy that responded back to me and was like, oh, on your page, you shouldn't identify yourself as being real if you wouldn't give somebody at least a good percentage of the million that you win. And I'm like, that would not be something that would be an entitlement that I would have to do, or that I should feel like someone else should give me. Like, no, not at all. And that does not take away my real card just because I'm not an entitled, mofo. But yes, that's what got me a little like, okay, I still see how people really, how they mind go out here. But yes, of course, as my friend and me, providing the $300 for the lottery tickets and them winning the $1 million off of it. Of course, I would have some type of hope that they would at least give me the $300 back. for me to even feel like anything above that is a sense of entitlement. And even getting the 300 back is a sense of entitlement. Because if I just gave you that as a friend and there was no other discussion outside of that, well, that's an L that I took. But again, people don't take accountability, and a lot of people don't seem to really understand that they too play a role in their demise at times and why things don't work out the way that they would prefer that they do. All right, so the next thing I saw on social media is being caught for stealing and believing you should not be arrested, all because you released the items back to the store once caught, or because you offered to pay for the items after the fact. So this is related to, like I told you, I watched the police body cam videos. So this one's related to two sisters that end up going into a Walmart and they get caught stuffing things in different places and they caught on camera. So they're demanding that, they get to see the video, which they don't have to do. You can see that in court if your lawyer, files a motion of discovery to see that. Again, we don't give no legal advice here. I'm just saying that's the process. But but it's like, they didn't feel like they had to give their name to the officer. They acted very confused as to why they were being trespassed, and why they were being put in handcuffs, because they're like, oh, we gave all the stuff back. And what was so ironic is when the female officer came in to check the physical, body of one of the sisters, when she pulled the back shirt up, it was another piece of, it looked like a bottom piece of a bikini, like a thong bikini that was stuffed in the back of her pants. And it's like, well, dang, love mama, like you sit here pressing the case and still ain't doing right. You still get caught up in the BS. And I felt like, it's so crazy how you can really feel like, well, I stole from you. It's okay. I apologize. I gave you all your stuff back, so you ain't lost out on nothing. But it does not make it any less of a crime that you did it. And I really, feel like people think, well, if I so-called made it right, or if I didn't get away, with the things that I was attempting to do, if my plan didn't go as expected and I had to return something or I had to put something back, or if I offer to pay for it now, which is again after the fact, it's like, I don't, excuse me, y'all. I don't get how people get this type of entitlement mindset. Like, that is not something that has to be done. Now, yes, granted, the business owner might have, said something just like, okay, be trespassed. But again, once they call the police, that is out of their hands. The decision that they now make is based upon the trespassing. But the criminal decision, police have already, the resources there now. So you now are going to jail. And then, demanding to see the video just to show proof that they have you. It's like, okay, well, even if you do see that, and your face is now all splattered over their monitors, showing and confirming that, yes, you did do exactly what you're sitting up here claiming you didn't do, or, that you feel like wasn't, an issue because you gave the stuff back. It's like, what does that change? Nothing. All it does, if anything, is put the crime on 4K, a bright screen. It's like nobody thinks about that. Okay, and then lastly, the video or post I have down here is becoming violent, belligerent, or hostile in any way due to being rejected by someone who expressed interest in you. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this one is based upon it was a video where a girl got murdered because she rejected a guy. And I saw that, there are a lot of content creators on YouTube who have done like TikTok compilation videos about men getting hurt. About women getting hurt by men who have been, rejected by them. And I think it's kind of crazy, you know what I'm saying? That because someone is not interested in you for whatever reason, which they have a right to, you think that it's okay to now harm them in some way, or to even talk stuff about them in some way. And it's just like, that how does that make you feel like that's okay? Rejection, all that is redirection. Rejection is redirection. When something don't work out or when the door don't close, you never know. That could be, shoot, God protecting you from whatever that is. That could have been a bullet that you dodged. But no, ego and pride get in the way, and now you have a whole situation. All right, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is potential consequences of entitlement. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right, y'all, I'm back. So, potential consequences of entitlement. Damaged relationships. So, entitlement can create friction in relationships as it can lead to a lack of empathy and understanding. Stunted personal growth. Entitlement can prevent individuals from learning from mistakes and striving for personal growth. Difficulty in teamwork. Entitled individuals may struggle to collaborate effectively as they may be unwilling to compromise or put the needs of the team before their own. And lastly, reduced work satisfaction. If not properly managed, entitlement can lead to a sense of dissatisfaction and resentment when personal desires are not met. So addressing entitlement, how do you address the entitlement when it occurs? So first thing is self-awareness. Recognizing and understanding the entitlement mindset is the first step towards addressing it. So if you never admit that, hey, there's a problem, or you know what, maybe I do got some type of entitlement mindset about me. If you never are even willing to admit that there may be something that's a little warped or off, then it's like you're never going to have that motivation to want to change something, because it's like, well, what needs to be fixed if nothing is broken? So having that self-awareness that something is cracked or broken and needs to be addressed can then provide the opportunity, or at least as having it as an option, to go and get it fixed or addressed, strengthened, enhanced in some way, in a positive way. Let me say that. All right, next thing is changing behavior. It's important to challenge the belief that one is inherently deserving and to focus on earning recognition and privileges through hard work and effort. So not just feeling like someone owes you something, like because you're you, that, things are just supposed to fall at your feet. That's a delusional way to look at things, because that's not how it goes. It's just not how it goes. Thirdly, developing empathy and understanding. So, learning to see situations from others' perspectives and demonstrating compassion can help break the cycle of entitlement, because you're now putting your foot in their shoes and seeing how their perspective, might create the way in which they think, see, or do something. Because again, in order to understand the behavior, you have to first understand the logic behind the behavior. What is the thought process behind this behavior? What navigates this behavioral output or this behavioral response? Because there's something here that steers that behavior to occur. So, by kind of reframing how you do start to consider others, do start to put yourself in other people's shoes, trying to understand someone else's perspective. Not saying you have to always agree with the other person's perspective, but taking that moment to realize, you know what? I'm not the only one in this situation. Let me consider how the other people feel or how they think about something. That's acknowledging, that right there is progress within itself, that you're acknowledging that other people have an opinion too. Other people have thoughts too and feelings too, not just you. Next thing is setting realistic expectations. It's important to understand that the world doesn't owe us anything and that success requires effort and perseverance. So success can look different, for different people. Everyone has their own ideal view of what success is. And regardless of what that view is, it takes work to get there, and to keep it. Something I'm commonly saying is, anybody can probably get something at least once. but are you equipped with the tools necessary to keep it? Because that's something that is going to have to really be done in order for you to maintain this thing that you've acquired. Because if you slack off of it, it's like, well, okay, now you run the risk of losing that very thing that you did so much to gain. And it becomes a cycle, just a very bad cycle. Okay, so next thing, as far as addressing entitlement, is practicing gratitude. So focusing on the positive aspects of life and expressing appreciation for what one has can help shift the focus from entitlement to gratitude. So rather than feeling like something, should just be handed to you, being able to express the fact that, you know what, I am grateful for what I have. I am grateful for what I can do. And if there's more that I feel like I need to acknowledge that I have to work towards that, because it's not going to just be given to me. And then lastly, seeking professional help. In some cases, therapy or counseling may be necessary to address severe cases of entitlement. And that's when we start getting into the realm of like narcissism, um, sociopath, it's things like that, or some type of personality disorder in general, because that then skews how you perceive self, others, and the world around you. So that will take the more in-depth professional help, the clinical support. All right, so in conclusion, y'all, that was my video on entitlement. Well, I will say, thank you for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you are in need of a personal session with me, booking details and service information links are in the description or the About section. And I guess we will see you on the next video. Thank y'all for spending time with me. Let's get to work. Change is on you, man. Manifesting realities, one change at a time. Y'all take it easy.